If you ever wanted to be an actor or you want to be an actor, Babylon's going to make you think twice about that lifestyle. Boy, that was a crazy movie.
Yes, yes. Talk about a movie that exemplifies the roaring 20s, right?
Yes.
Crazy.
It's chaotic.
Frenetic.
Pandemonium was ever present.
Debauchery everywhere.
And a lot of nudity, guys, so don't take your kids.
Very graphic, very graphic. Stay tuned and find out more.
That was a masterpiece. I mean, I'm gonna give it 5 reels for sure. What?
Now, I know you guys are excited to hear about Babylon because we are excited to talk about this crazy movie. But before we get into that, guys, a couple of housekeeping things we have to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we want to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to our channel. We put a lot of work into this. We appreciate it. Go ahead and share it to everyone you know. Hit the like button and hit the bell button so that you know every single time we upload a video.
Well said, sir. And look us up on social media. TikTok, Facebook, Real Screeners, Instagram, Real.Screeners. And don't forget about our online store, of course, realscreeners.com. We still have some hot deals going on there.
Yes.
With our movie mashups.
All these are over.
Without further ado, Babylon. Currently, we have, a couple of nominations here. Well, several nominations, but it definitely
For what industry? Like, it depends. Like the Oscars or the porn industry?
The
or what are we talking about here?
The movie does go overboard. Well, I mean, it's all part of the crazy lavishness and the lifestyle of the 1920s, right?
It's reflective, guys.
It's reflective of that.
Many times over.
Yes, but it is nominated for Best Picture at the Critics' Choice Awards and the Golden Globes, and so more than likely it'll receive an Oscar nomination for Best Picture, and deservedly so. This is one of the most surprising, definitely one of the most surprising movies I've seen this year. A movie that definitely leaves you with like scenes that will live in your memory for a while. Embedded. Scenes that will shock you. Scenes that will make you laugh uncontrollably.
Yes.
Scenes that will touch your heartings. Scenes that will make you
sick.
Sneer.
Cringe. I mean,
it really does that. Amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean,
amazing.
tell them what it's about.
So the movie starts out in the craziness of the 1920s, the Roaring 20s, the Jazz Age, as they call it.
Yes.
And so it focuses on just how crazy, toxic, dehumanized everyone kind of is during this time period, with drugs and alcoholism and very animalistic and so on and so forth. But particularly it focuses on actors and directors in the film industry, Hollywood. So this is very much like Damienchazelle's, the director, a love letter to a love letter and kind of like a hate letter at the same time to Hollywood. Now that I think about it,
it's a reflective letter. I mean, it's a
reflective letter. Yeah,
you had your good and your bad. Very much. This movie shows you a lot of the behind the scenes, right? Mm-hmm. And so we start off the movie with Manuel Torres. He's a guy who was just, his dream is to be on a set.
This movie is, by the way, extremely entertaining from beginning to end. Even in the scenes where the movie kind of slows down and focuses on the character conversations, you get to know more about them. Mm-hmm. And I don't think any film time is wasted. It really shows you, back to the Hollywood stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The good and the bad. And how making movies back in the 1920s involved... it wasn't always a pretty picture. Yes. It wasn't always a glossy picture. And so what you see in movies is not always what happens behind the scenes.
Right.
The dark aspects.
And you travel this path through Manny and through the character played by Margot Robbie.
Nelly. And Brad Pitt.
Yes. You pretty much see different angles and different strata, different levels of Hollywood from those different characters.
Right.
Yeah, because you go from the bottom to the top and you see all different parts of it.
Yeah, and it focuses on like what consumes them and the vices that they have. And so this movie focuses on like the dark side of filmmakers and what, the nasty part of filmmaking, and specifically just like how fame consumes you, how money consumes you, how, the applause and the hunger for the applause and power and glory and all of that. It's important to mention also that this movie pays homage to the movies and to the history of film.
Right. And you see that through a shifting of the tone, kind of like in the last third of the movie.
Yes.
But this movie was edited to reflect the times, because you do move through about a decade or even more of that time period as it transitions from silent pictures to pictures with sound.
Yep.
And the characters' struggles and their adaptation is reflected in the pacing of the movie. So if you appreciate that aspect of the movie, you'll understand.
Yeah, and without giving too much away, if you're into movies, that there's movies out there that bring up this theme of transitioning from silent films to talkies, and just innovation in film in general. And I think that this movie really makes it almost like a satire in a way, or at least commentary on how that transition was an arduous one, a difficult one, a challenging one, and it messes up a lot of people.
In many different ways, and so that really speaks to the title and the heart of the movie, Babylon, right? When you talk about that biblical city that was
the fall of an empire.
Yeah, exactly. The rise and the fall, and their hubris and then their exuberance and their lack of morals and all that, and that's kind of what you see. Mm-hmm. And it does happen to this day. Obviously, you see celebrities.
It reminded me, pleasantly so, of like a Martin Scorsese film, in that it focuses on the flaws of these characters and how terrible human beings they can be, and then there's that like touch of redemption in there, usually exemplified by maybe one character or just like a couple of little incidents here and there, but mostly focuses on the dark stuff like Goodfellas or The Irishman. So many of his movies are kind of like that, Raging Bull. But the movie also is very Chazelle in that, like La La Land and Whiplash, you can tell that music is front and center, and his appreciation of music, in this case jazz and rhythm and blues, right? And the theme of like dreamers, right? And everything that gets in the way.
Yeah,
that prevents them. And realizing your dreams and the pressures and all of that.
Yeah, and the serendipitous nature of Hollywood, right? Because if you think some of these characters kind of fell into their success, versus kind of earning it, and then that shows.
Right.
And the characters. So this is a good segue to characters.
Yep. Or they do anything to get the role or the part. Yeah.
Yeah. So Margot Robbie's character Nellie has two character-defining moments that we both agree on, which we're not going to spoil it for you, but they're excellent, and it really shows her range as an actress.
Oh, she's going to get a nomination for sure. She's been nominated already, and this is really good stuff by her. She's really the standout, I think. They share a good amount of different stories, and they even develop characters that you don't suspect they're going to develop at first, but they really do, even if it's just with a take. Brilliant stuff.
Yes, and
brilliant stuff.
Brad Pitt does an excellent job of portraying this guy who's, they show you him at his height, and then they show you over time how, maybe, Hollywood's kind of passed him by and how he's not bigger than Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. And then the last thing I'll mention, I guess, before the real ratings is the cinematography, the editing, the costume design, the lavish sets, like very spot on and emblematic of like the 1920s of the times, and everything looks gorgeous.
Yeah, and again, going back to the editing, really reflecting the tones that they're trying to bring out and the pacing that they're trying to bring out at the beginning. Very fast paced, because the roaring 20s were all over the place, and it was just constant celebrations, apparently.
Yeah, there was always something happening in the background too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look for those guys. The long one-shot takes to really bring you through the environment and just give you the atmosphere. It really immerses you, and I love that about this movie. So that's all I'll say about techniques. Yeah. You were mentioning real ratings. Let's move along, guys. I will hand it off to you first, Mr. Bethel.
Oh. Why, thank you. Okay. Well, I think that this is definitely one of the most surprising, pleasant surprises of the year. It's a masterpiece in my eyes. I will give this a solid 5 out of 5. I think I mentioned all the reasons why. It's a movie that takes you on a ride, and it also touches your heartstrings at the same time.
Excellent. I too will give it 5 reels. I mean, just from the first 20 minutes, which their intro was like 20 minutes, by the way. I was like, this is going to be 5 reels. I knew it. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that it made me laugh a lot, laughing out loud. And then it
definitely has a sense of humor.
Yeah, and then it shows you, it becomes a little more drama, and then it reels it back into being entertaining. but then also dark. And so you see these different corridors of Hollywood.
Nice shifts in tone.
Yeah,
but it's seamless.
It's a very layered movie.
It really is.
I appreciate it.
It really
that.
is.
So yeah, 5 reels, guys. Definitely entertaining. Like I said at the beginning, do not take your kids, even their teenagers. Oh no, you better screen this movie first.
yes, some graphic stuff in there. But don't forget to once again subscribe to our channel. Let us know what you think of our content. Give us a comment down below. Let us know what movies you've loved this year.
That's right.
That's right.
How does this compare?
Also, yeah, absolutely. And then also, you want to look us up on social media?
That's right. Facebook and TikTok at Real Screeners, Instagram Real.Screeners. Check out our website, realscreeners.com, where we have excellent movie mashup shirts, guys, with some nice discounts. You won't want to miss it. And you won't want to miss our next Real Take on Movies.
Yes, be back.